That's a kick your feet up, no stress Sunday for the Lions. It's not supposed to be this easy, but they make it look easy.
Well, they make it look easy because they're as close to a total team around the NFL that you're going to find. The offense, defense, special teams. And TJ, I want to ask you this. Because obviously, one of the hot topics has been Terrion Arnold and his propensity for penalties. He's given up some big plays. But with DJ Reed down, how concerning is it? And I know there's been other injuries in the secondary. What's your level of concern about health in the secondary and performance in the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to get on the radar. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks that Terrion has gone out, and, not certain. I didn't hear any update on him yesterday. Not good when you go out back-to-back weeks with a similar shoulder injury, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I mean, especially with DJ Reed, I mean, I don't think that doesn't seem like it's going to be like, hey, let's hold it down 2 more weeks until we get him back. I think that's going to be, later into the season, just based off how it looked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're going to have to find guys that can come in there and just give you some spot duty and hopefully go out there and compete. And I like some adjustments that, Kelvin Shepherd made yesterday. Running a lot more zone coverage, a lot more disguise looks, kind of throwing Jake Browning off a little bit. They were mostly a pretty high percentage man coverage team throughout the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this, stats yet, but it just felt like it was a lot more zone yesterday. And I think that was him adjusting to some of the personnel that he had. And so, I mean, hopefully, Terrion, I know guy's taking a beating. I know he's had some penalties. And yesterday, there was a couple more, and one of them that took the safety off the board. Thought it was kind of ticky-tack, but, he's got that reputation now of, refs they make it an emphasis. If you're a guy that plays like that, it's no different than if you're a guy that gets a lot of personal fouls. You're not going to have a long leash because – unfortunately, you kind of have a reputation of being handsy and being physical, and, they're going to be watching you. So I'm not saying it's unfair. I'm not trying to, make an excuse for the kid, but it just is what it is. And so, but regardless, he's still giving you some really good reps out there.
Yeah.
I know, much like offensive line, man, you can have 1 or 2 bad plays, and that's all anybody talks about, So Terrion's kind of been in that boat, but, hopefully – it could be similar to last week where, hey, we just need a couple days to heal up, and because it would be big to have him on the field. But, yeah, it's this point of the season, you never want to play that much musical chairs with your secondary. I mean, it's much like the offensive line that you just don't have a bunch of time to practice together with all these different people, and that's a position group that you need chemistry, you need trust, you need to be able to be like, okay, I've had this rep 1,000 times with this guy. I know what he's going to do on this coverage or this play or this route combination. So hopefully Terrion can get back in there, at least give him keep some stability in that back end.
Yeah, I think the secondary is as close to the offensive line as you're going to get in regards to the chemistry that those 5 guys on the offensive line have. And the communication that they have, some of it's verbal, some of it has to be nonverbal, especially when you are, 20 or 30 yards apart. A lot of it's going to have to be nonverbal for the secondary, and it's like they have to be moving as one. And if one guy's off, then all of a sudden you leave yourself open for a monster play.
Yeah, and you need other areas on your defense to pick up the slack a little bit too. I mean, the pass rush yesterday, we already mentioned a couple sacks getting taken off the board, but certain parts of that game were just like, okay, come on, man. Since the offensive line's not very good, they got a couple that they broke through. Hutch finally had one that counted, which on the flea flicker, I think, which was an odd call at that time, down 3 scores. But, if you're going to go in there and that the secondary is a little banged up and, hey, we can't put too much pressure on those guys, you're going to have to take more of a urgent approach, if you're in the front 7. So, I think the linebackers have been playing really good in my opinion.
Yes.
All of those guys. I mean, Jack has been phenomenal, tackling machine.
Derek Barnes has been good in a lot of different positions.
Barnes asked to do a lot of different things, whether it's edge rushing, playing from the middle stack there, dropping into coverage times. Anzalone coming up with a huge play to second play of the half, really to kind of stick it to Cincy early in that third quarter. I think the linebackers, man, have just been playing such good football, and that's huge for this team because it literally. a year and a half, 2 years ago, we were talking about, that group being a major weakness on this team. And those guys continue to get better, man. I think that's what really makes that defense go. Their ability to support in the run game with good fits, get in their gaps, get off blocks, make tackles, and then to drop back and cover and get their hands on some balls. And Anzalone yesterday, like mentioned, that's a big play, man. I think the linebackers have been kind of a sneaky, underrated position group so far through 5 games.
We talk about some holes in the secondary, missing your left tackle, still go perfect 5 for 5 in the red zone, 3 takeaways, plus a safety. They're up big the entire way, never in doubt. This team's a complete football team. Now, I'm not allowed to ask this question, John, but if you would like to ask TJ a question about the NFC
I can ask him,
where they stack up, that would be nice.
Well, especially with, it was a weird week of football where it started off with college and some upsets and Penn State losing to UCLA, but then it was the Saints.
So sad, wasn't it?
I know, it just broke everyone's heart. Yes, I know. I was leaving the game and I saw the score was I think it was 24-3 or 24-7. And I immediately was texting everybody I knew. Have you seen what UCLA is doing to Penn State? And then I would love the way that it ended. But
damn shame.
The Saints beat the Giants. Tennessee gets a win over the Cardinals. And the way that one ended with the guy going into the end zone, dropping the ball before he gets there. Like, I don't get that or why that's a thing, but
it's so infuriating.
It keeps happening.
It's infuriating. Back-to-back weeks, not for Arizona. There was somebody else last week. I can't remember.
Yeah. But then the Broncos beat the Eagles. And so the question is, because in every time I've done the Power Surge, it's always been the Eagles have been in the top 3. Now they drop a game to the Broncos. Are the Lions the best team this week in the NFC?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, based off how they played the last 3 games and just doing what they're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And, looking at Philly's schedule, could you say they're more battle-tested? Probably. Broncos – I think they're a good AFC team. Tampa, Rams, Chiefs, their last 4 games, those are good teams that they're playing. But there's just something, even reading some clips this morning and watching some, interviews there's something that just kind of feels off again with Philly. Like Jalen Hurts after every game, win or loss is has to apologize or take responsibility. And because A.J. Brown, I think yesterday it was Devontae Smith was talking, our passing game was just terrible and blah, blah, blah. And it's every week there's something where Jalen Hurts is just yeah, my bad. I'll take all the blame, and I'll keep working to get it figured out. There's something just kind of off right now. And even when they were winning, it wasn't the vibe of man, dude, this is the NFL. We're not going to apologize for winning games. It was always kind of mopey, I know A.J. Brown wants more targets, and you're always talking about the stuff that doesn't really matter, right? Hey, we should feel good that we're winning games, and we haven't even got production from our best players yet.
Yeah.
Imagine when we do get going, right?
Yeah.
So there's just something off about Philly, and I know I'm not trying to paint a picture here, but a couple years ago when Philly and they had that big hot start, and it was even something was just off about them. I kept kind of getting the same vibe. I could be totally wrong, but just based off of the messages that come out after every game and just what they're having to talk to and people griping and complaining and bitching, it's okay, you don't have that over here. And they've played admittedly a tougher schedule, sitting at 4-1. But I think the Lions are just feel right now, 5 games in, more of a complete
Is
team.
some of that for a guy that, obviously you won a Super Bowl. Next year, you've got these expectations again. Is some of that inherent in terms of the questions that are being asked? Why aren't you as dominant as last year? Is that part of it, or?
I think so, yeah, because you become accustomed to, just winning.
Yeah.
And, that's – and then it's not only just about winning. It's about – how does
win.
it look?
It's
got to be perfect, right? You guys are the big dogs. You're supposed to be the cream of the crop. It's supposed to look really great with you guys every single week.
Yeah.
That can definitely be an added pressure for you. And Philly, what was their record? They've won 18 or 19 straight games, I think, before yesterday.
I think it was 19 to 20.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that comes a lot of pressure, and that's why I kind of look at it and say maybe that pressure's starting to show a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they're not saying man, who cares? We just beat the Rams. Who cares? We just beat our division rival, the Cowboys. What are you guys complaining about? And I think that's what Dan Campbell is very aware of as well. And I thought I saw that yesterday, where he maybe I don't know if he was admitting a mistake when he said after Cleveland that it's not good enough. Certainly, I don't think that was the message to the team, but that's why I think yesterday was like, you know what, man, we're going to enjoy this one. Yeah, where there's some plays out there that, you know, we're going to get under some guys for, and we're going to have to correct, and we're going to have to emphasize. Like, no doubt there is. But right now, we're going to enjoy this thing. We've got 24 hours to enjoy a win on the road in the NFL, man. This stuff is so hard to do. People don't understand. We're going to enjoy this thing, and we'll make the corrections, right? Like, I think he's very aware of, you don't want to put too much pressure on your guys to be perfect and perfect and perfect, because then you're going to start pressing, and that's when the mistakes start happening.
I thought Goff last week when he was on with Doug and Gator did a nice job of somewhat clarifying that, it was certainly good enough to beat the Browns.
Yeah.
Because we won by, 24 points. But was it good enough to beat some of the better teams?
Forward,
moving forward, then no. And they all knew that.
Yeah. And I think that's, and Coach talked about it with me yesterday too, is that's a great characteristic this team has, is you don't have to go in there and say, guys, like, come on, man, we can be better. And everybody's like, what do you mean? We won by 3 scores. Like, everything's great. Like, those guys understand that, and it comes from the players too. Like, yeah, we got a lot to clean up, man. We're good, but we will. We're going to keep working. And they've obviously shown for the majority of the last 2.5 years that that's exactly what they do. Yeah.
9:50, we'll get some of TJ's thoughts on the Tigers. Come home with a split over the weekend against the Mariners. Got some more thoughts on the Lions. We can take some phone calls, 248-539-9797. Squeeze in some ticket texts. Then we'll get to Heather's news. It's 97.1.